Good evening. I'm Kamila Carreiro with an important health update. The prevalence of gonorrhea has caused immediate distress, and health officials are sounding the alarm. So, what's going on? And how can us individuals provide preventative care when mixing safety with pleasure? Let's talk about it. To know the 5 W's: what, when, and where, who, and why. By applying these 5 W's, we can get information on the epidemiological side of gonorrhea. So what is gonorrhea? Gonorrhea, also known scientifically as gonococcus, is a sexually transmitted disease and is known as a bacteria that can infect an individual when having intercourse. Common areas that are known to be affected are the mouth, anus, penis, and vagina. Symptoms include a burning sensation while urinating, painful bowel movements, yellow to white discharge in males, excessive discharge in females, as well as itchiness and soreness. Now that we've gone over what gonorrhea is and their symptoms, let's go over the back history. The origin of this STD remains unknown. However, researchers have found evidence from textbooks and medical records leading back to ancient times. Back in 2600 BC, a Chinese emperor named Huang Tai had written in medical textbook about a disease resembling gonorrhea. This was the first mention of this disease. It also received its first slang term called the clap. The origin of this term remains uncertain, but there are multiple articles suggesting theories of where this term came from. For example, in the article, the Journal of Skin and Sexually Transmitted Disease by the scientific scholar suggests that the term came from the les clapiers, coming from French brothels back in the 1500s when the STD became rampant. This was due to prostitutes who were blamed for the cause of the disease. Another theory was back when they didn't have antibiotics, and you're gonna love this, guys. Men would treat the disease by slapping their penis against a board or clapping their penis with 2 hands to force out the infected discharge. I'm gonna let you guys sit with that for a second. Yeah. Last theory I found was etymologists believing it came from the Old English word the clappin'. That means beating or throbbing. These men were going through a lot back then. Speaking on the history of gonorrhea, let's look at the data from the 1950s to 2022. The data suggests that there has been a steady incline over the years. However, in the 1980s, there was a report of 1 million cases throughout the whole United States. Researching why there were 1 million cases that year, the CDC states that there were a rise of antibiotic resistance. Those who are unaware of what antibiotic resistance is, it's when an antibiotic can no longer cure an infection in the individual's body due to the body becoming immune. This usually happens when an antibiotic is being overused and the body becomes immune to it, so it can't cure the infection. In simpler terms provided by the CDC, germs like bacteria and fungi develop the ability to resist and even defeat the drugs designed to kill them. That means the germs are not killed and continue to grow. With antibiotics becoming less effective, it's been difficult for pharmacists to create a new antibiotic for gonorrhea. The complexity behind creating a new antibiotic takes time and most likely years to evaluate and go through multiple clinical trials to monitor the resistant patterns across populations. Another reason why there was an increase of gonorrhea cases that year was due to the aftermath of World War II. There was an increase of sexual activity during that time, and many individuals weren't informed of the potential chance of getting gonorrhea. Excuse me for my stuttering. And there's a possibility that there was underreporting during that time. So, as much as they were having intercourse, they weren't aware that they could potentially be at risk of getting gonorrhea. So they weren't going to clinics to treat them. And that's where the cases started to become higher at that time. Speaking on present times, the data suggests that back in 2022, there was a decrease in reported cases, specifically speaking, 8.74% since 2021. But there is more good news. Although the cases still remain high, back in 2023, the overall rate of gonorrhea decreased by 7.7% from 2022 to 23. With the declined cases of gonorrhea, we can suggest that mass populations are becoming more aware and educated on gonorrhea and its symptoms, as well as an improvement of using more condoms, an increase in testing and treatment, and healthcare access being provided over the past years. Finishing off, we are going to talk about how to prevent yourself from getting this STD. If you are sexually active, you should get tested every year. Ask your partner if they got tested to prevent exposure. And most importantly, use condoms. Here's an image. It's right here. Keeps you safe, keeps you healthy. It's lovely. So use it. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. You really do need to use it. But I'm not trying to judge. You know what I'm trying to say? If you believe that you have this disease, please go to a clinic, get yourself treated, and they will help you by providing an antibiotic that can help you. But I will warn you that with the antibiotic resistance being involved, try your best to stay protective as much as possible. Birth control can help, condoms can help. Anything to protect yourself, please keep yourself safe. This is one of the diseases that is hard to treat due to the antibiotic resistance. And I'm going to keep saying antibiotic resistance because it is important to stay informed and have it stuck in your brain to make sure that you stay safe. Now that we've gone over all things gonorrhea, it's important to take this disease very seriously, and I hope the information helped you. This is Kamila Carreiro, and you just watched KMC News. Thank you and good night.